Hello horror fans, and welcome to a new segment here on Silver Screams. And tonight I'm going to be talking about The Mummy 2017 while Katie
and I will be asking questions and eating popcorn.
I will be answering those questions while also drinking whiskey.
For a good horror movie, you raise a glass. And for a bad horror movie, you finish a glass.
And I love horror movies.
That's our new tagline for this segment.
Yeah, and I love horror movies, and they're not always for Katie. Some are great and can be enjoyed by all. Others, really, they're not for everybody. And for some movies, like the one I just watched, they're just for no one. They're for no one, I tell you, no.
What'd you think of the movie?
This is a can of worms question. I'll put it this way. I wish I could rewatch Alien Covenant to take the bad taste out of my mouth from having seen this goddamn piece of hot garbage because I didn't feel as bad leaving the theater.
How about you give us a brief plot summary
Ooh.
of this, not Alien Covenant?
Oh, you want a plot summary?
I do.
What's the best way to summarize a dumpster fire? Can't go through scene by scene why this movie is garbage.
Give us the three paragraphs.
Nick is a fun-loving thief.
Nick the Dick.
Nick the Dick, who stumbles across an ancient Egyptian tomb meant to imprison this Egyptian princess who got all hungry for power and murdered her father, baby brother, and her father's mistress so she could remain the heir to the throne and also usher in
prosperity, murder, death?
No, the Egyptian god of death into a vessel of her choosing. Nick becomes the vessel, her new chosen vessel for Set. And the rest of the movie is spent with her trying to manipulate Nick into becoming the new vessel and an organization run by Dr. Henry Jekyll trying to kill Nick after capturing the mummy for the greater good? Question mark?
Okay. That's half my popcorn.
Nick when his girlfriend gets killed, decides to go ahead and go through with the ritual himself so that he holds power over life and death, because apparently he didn't need the mummy to actually complete that ritual. Not even girlfriend, just girl he had a one-night stand with off screen before the movie started, back to life. Long story short, the mummy is, instead of being an awesome, empowered female villain, decides that she doesn't want to be second fiddle to her male, sibling, so she murders them so that she can instead be second fiddle to a male of her choosing because daddy didn't love her enough. I hate this movie.
Okay, so what I'm hearing is we need to scrap this and just make a live action version of Mummies Alive or something like that.
I'd be okay with that. And this is also that freaking Nick can get superpowers by the end of this movie.
So Nick is the mummy.
He's Set, who has the power over life and death now, but chooses to peace out anyway. Oh, no one understands his darkness. And there's darkness within him. Evil's a pathogen now. Did you know that?
What? Evil's contagious.
You know how I mentioned how Henry Jekyll's in this movie?
Yes.
So is Edward Hyde! For a whole 2 minutes! For some reason.
So, like Venom. In Spider-Man 3.
Venom got more screen time. Oh.
Did he get better screen time?
I liked his accent.
The Mummy has, I looked it up this evening actually, the Mummy has 18% on Rotten Tomatoes as of the filming of this video, which is 12:37 a.m. on June 10th.
Good! I actually cracked up right after the Universal logo came up. It's one thing to see a teaser trailer like, ooh, Dark Universe. It's a completely different thing for right after the Universal logo, they go ahead and bring in Dark Universe. I was like, I sat there in the theater, that's ballsy.
So
that is ballsy. And I think the reason why I'm so angry is because when they said that they were considering a woman for the role of the mummy, and again, in all fairness,
And we go, fuck yeah.
the actress was great. But what makes me mad is that when I sat down to write my movie chick article about how they were considering casting a woman to be the mummy in their dark universe, they said it could be a man, it could be a woman. We're honestly gonna go with whatever serves the story best.
They wouldn't have put a man in a role like this.
Yeah, this is not strong enough, clearly. It's not fair that a movie that came out almost 20 years ago is a better feminist film than the one where you have a female villain who we should sympathize with. Her motivation is entirely revolving around men. Yeah. This movie almost passed the Bechdel test. Almost! You were so close, movie! You came this close!
Blue shelled at the finish line.
For a hot second there, I was like, oh, at least they're not talking about Tom Cruise in this moment.
Was that a problem in the movie? Everything about Nick the Dick? My understanding of this is that this entire sequence of events happened because of him and would have been easily and completely prevented had he not been in the room.
Yeah.
Well, fuck that guy.
The most likable character is actually Nick's friend, whose name I forget. I think it's Vale. He's kind of like this movie's version of Benny or Jonathan. He and Tom Cruise are garbage people because they're members of the military, from the looks of it, the US military, who go off on their own rogue missions stealing antiquities so that basically they use these radicalists as a way to cover their tracks as they steal.
And we're supposed to sympathize with them, why?
I don't know, that's a great question. Vale is at least funny. He's very, very funny, and he and Nick have some great, like, verbal tete-a-tetes. He gets killed like 15 minutes into this movie.
Oh, well then what's the point?
So that he can appear as an undead specter throughout the majority of this movie.
Are you fucking serious?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah. Did you?
Oh my god.
You've never seen An American Werewolf in London, right?
No.
Well, basically,
We'll have to do another one of these.
It goes a little American Werewolf in London in that the best friend who gets killed early on haunts the friend throughout the course of the movie.
Because Tom Cruise is not dead?
Because he's undead, yes. He does die in the plane crash, but like because he's the chosen one.
And that's where the movie should have ended.
Well, good game, everyone. We can leave now, right?
It's been 35 minutes? A short movie. I have no idea how far in the movie the plane crash is. I just went with 35 minutes because it's a nice round number. Act 1 stuff.
But Tom Cruise brings him back to life at the end of the movie.
Because he's a responsible human being who
mention-
understands the consequences of his actions.
By giving Tom Cruise powers over life and death, you automatically sucked out any and all tension that the rest of the Dark Universe has.
You made him the Dragon Balls.
He is the Dragon Ball.
You just have to go fucking find him.
Yeah.
Okay, revolving
Yeah.
doors of death are stupid, and I say that as someone who watched 5 seasons of Arrow and put up with some shit from the Frogwater Lazarus pits.
I have a hard time rooting for any of the heroes in the story. For one, because based on the precedent here, they're all going to be garbage people anyway. Two, they're just going to be able to bring anybody back to life because Tom Cruise has powers over life and death. So why should I care? By the way, why is being the god of death considered evil? Doesn't
people are stupid.
death bring the world back in balance because things that live should die?
Also, Hades was a total nerd.
I know, right?
He was the nerd brother. It was great. He named his
He
dog.
wasn't a jerk.
He named his dog Spot.
You're kidding. That sounds made up. You made that up. You made that up.
No, I didn't.
Do you speak Greek?
No.
Then you made it up.
Fucking make it up. I read it.
I'm sorry, but you can't say Cerberus is Greek for spot without citing your goddamn source.
I would have to go find it. Point being, Hades was the kind of person who would go to a party and talk about his model train sets to anyone who would.
Anyone who would listen.
We can't all be James Woods.
No.
At this point, most of us don't want to be James Woods.
No, we can't. But to get back to the sexism in this movie.
Is there anything else in the movie?
You know how with Imhotep, I kind of liked that they kept the idea of a mummy needing to take life essence from the living in order to fully regenerate.
To relive.
Yes. So they kept the assimilation idea. You know what they decided to do since this mummy was a lady?
Make her a man-eater?
Instead of just doing that scream and then like, all of the person's organs and stuff fly at her, she essentially literally sucks out the life from them via mouth to mouth. She literally makes out with somebody in order to suck the life out of them. And also
But is it framed to be sexy? Like the camera angles and the...
Kind of.
Okay, so it's not like Python? Because if she was gonna jaw unhinge and mouth to mouth someone, like, I'd be fucking down. That'd be great.
This sort of thing would work more with a vampire.
This is true.
Because once she sucks the life out of somebody, they then become her undead slaves.
Instead of just dying.
Instead of just dying.
Horrible.
So this would work in a Dracula or Carmilla sort of situation. But the bad part is, in addition to just
the one?
Just being bad, and again, over-sexualizing your female villain. Oh boy! When Nick gets the powers of Set and decides, oh, I don't want to be evil. That's right, I want to be a good guy.
Since when?
The way he kills the mummy is the same way she sucks the life out of her victims. He kills her via forced kiss. He forces her to kiss him and sucks the life out of her. I'm sorry, do you have questions? Because otherwise I'm just gonna kind of keep rambling.
Not at the moment, but I think I might need a popcorn refill.
I might need a drink refill.
You know, when we hit the end of one or the other, we should end this. That should be our metric for these.
Oh, but I have so little left.
I know.
We should have like a little graphic on the side, popcorn level, booze level. I have lots of reasons actually why I'm hurt by this movie in particular. Before I tell you that, I'm gonna tell you why I love the Mummy franchise, at least the first two movies.
Oh, there were only two movies.
There were only two movies. Because even though they were dumb and less horror and more action adventure, they were one of my gateways into horror. Once I got past my initial like, oh, this is a scary movie, and realized, oh no, it's not that scary, this is actually really fun. Once I got past that point, I really came to love the first movie and was so excited when the sequel came out. Granted, again, they're dumb! They're dumb, silly action romps that, in the grand scheme of things, don't really amount to much. But
damn if it ain't Brendan Fraser's best role. I feel like it's a sign of friendship when someone can scream, "Hey O'Connell, looks like I've got all the horses."
Hey Benny! Looks to me like you're on the wrong side of the river! But the other reason why these movies are kind of important to me is that, like, I actually did get to go to London, and then I went from London to Egypt and spent time in Egypt, and then immediately came back to London and rewatched the second Mummy movie and saw places
that
I had just been to. Yeah. And it was one of those things where it's like, okay, yeah, this movie's really ridiculous in hindsight, and the timeline always bothered me, and there are a lot of inconsistencies and a lot of things that just don't make sense. But my goodness, if it isn't fulfilling to see something in real life and then boom, see it in like this ultra, like, larger than life fantasy adventure. That is cool. Despite their flaws, I love those movies probably more than I should. And you throw in the fact that it could have been a huge feminist, like, yes, like, finally we get a strong female character
That isn't the bride of someone.
that isn't the bride of someone, that shouldn't be over-sexualized, that, like, should just be super motivated for her own reasons and not looking to play second fiddle to anybody, or doesn't need daddy's love or whatever. Like, she just she's just evil. You know, for her own interesting reasons. You can make her sympathetic and complex without giving her daddy issues. The promise of a universe where Dracula and the Mummy and the Wolfman and the Bride of Frankenstein and like all these other
The
things.
Phantom of the Opera and the Hunchback of Notre Dame.
And the Invisible Man can all come together
Johnny Depp
to
being nothing but a soul.
take over the world or save the world. I was never really clear on what they're supposed to do once they all get together.
Make money.
Yeah, that.
The popcorn level has hit critical, so what are your final thoughts?
I would say I'm not mad, just disappointed.
But you're mad.
But I'm also very mad. You were so close to being something awesome. And I don't know who's responsible. I don't know who's responsible for all of the choices that made it terrible.
Well, we are popcorned out.
I need another drink. Also, I think I'm gonna rewatch either the first one or the second one. Maybe I'll finally sit down and watch the third one.
Oh no, don't do that to yourself.
I don't know.
Oh no.
There's no way.
Oh.
There is no way that any movie with Jet Li in it could be nearly as bad as the one that I just saw.
That doesn't mean you need to make things worse.
Anyway, long story short, guys, don't see this movie. I don't care. Like, if you don't care at all, it is a passable movie. And that's the other thing, is this isn't the worst movie ever made.
No, but 18% on Rotten Tomatoes is not a ringing endorsement.
It's not
Suicide Squad did better.
It's definitely watchable, but the thing is that it could have and should have been amazing. And there's no reason that it shouldn't have. Not with a great, interesting, larger world, interesting characters, great performances, and decent visual effects. There is no reason why this should have sucked. And yet it did.
So what I got from this question and answer session was that it was a failure in feminism, a success for acting because the acting was quite good, a failure in storytelling, a failure in scripting, and basically a failure of a movie overall, and is not worth your time, your money, or your sanity. This has been Silver Screen Questions.
Thanks for watching. Katie, where can people go if they want to find you?
You can follow me all over the social medias and on YouTube at Kiaxet. That is Kiaxet. If you like watching us react to and or talk about non-horror things, they live on that channel.
I'm Megan. You guys can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at TheMenguin. That's DGMENGUIN. I'm gonna pour myself another drink. Be sure to follow Silver Screams at Silver_Screams. Like us on Facebook. I want to know, if you were so unfortunate to have seen this movie, what did you think? What questions did you have leaving the theater? Because I certainly had a few.
What's the worst remake you've ever seen? And why?
This one.
Partially, why did you go see it? Why would you put yourself through that? And partially, why was it bad?
The answer is this movie.
Well, for the people who didn't see it.
The answer is still this movie. Well, thank you guys so much for watching. We will see you all next time.
Katu Barata Coffee Beat.